Hey, what's up everyone? How's everyone feeling today? This is Mark Perry back at you with another video. In today's video, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to do subject to deals and why when you do subject to deals, you don't need a lot of equity. So how you can make money in real estate without any equity into the property. That's what we're going to talk about. Let's dive right in. So I had it up here a little bit. I'm going to change a little bit of things, but how do you make money when there's no equity in properties? You know, a lot of people think like, when you're doing real estate, you got to buy low, sell high, or buy low and sell low through wholesaling or through fix and flips. And what a lot of people don't understand is that you don't really need to do that as well. You don't have to do a fix and flip to make money. You don't have to do a wholesale deal to make money. There's other creative ways you can make money. You just got to be able to educate yourself and go out there and just go make it happen. From my experience, doing subject to deals is one of the most powerful things that you can do because you can actually take this over in residential or you can do it in commercial. So it applies in both sectors, commercial and real estate. Or commercial and residential, sorry. Little tongue tie right there. But it applies in both. So you can do them on both properties. You just got to be able to find a seller that will be willing for you to do it and trusts you and lets you know that you're going to be making the payments. So let's go in of how you can do a deal with literally no equity. So let's say if you got the seller, you got this house right here, you got the seller, and let's say if the seller is motivated and the seller has to move out of town ASAP. He ain't got time to put on the market or anything like that. He's been living in this town for about a year and a half. He bought the house as soon as he got into town. When he got into the market, he bought a house. He paid about $150,000 for the house, and he's been in his house for 1 year. So his job called and he has to get transferred to another city or another place. So he has a 150. The guy's motivated to sell. We do our marketing or whatever, and we find this seller and we got him to do 150 of what he owes because there's nothing on there that you can do. So let's say if you buy this at 150, what you're going to do is take over the existing loan. So you're going to take over that existing loan that seller has on that property. So he owes $150,000. He bought it at $150,000 and he owes $150,000 the next year. And he didn't put no money down or anything. This is more probably like a VA loan to where he got it down with no money down. So we took it over subject to for $150,000. We took it over subject to, so with the seller, so we got it under contract with the seller on the subject to, meaning subject to is taking over the existing loan on the property. You're taking over the existing loan on the property. Subject to is that. So what you do is you put under contract with the seller for $150, and then you market for a buyer, which, let's say if this deal is in Dallas, Texas, which is a great market right now. Really been a great market for quite some time. So let's say if you're in Dallas and this house, and it's a great market. So let's say if you got it for $150 and you come across a consumer buyer, right? You come across a consumer buyer, and let's say this consumer buyer has been working at Walmart and they got a little bit of money down and they're able to make a payment on this property. So they want to do a rent to own. They don't have a good credit, but you have this property where they can do a rent to own on it. So let's say if you charge them $160 because you're in a great market, you charge them $160, and let's say if they put $5,000 down. $5,000 down, and then this payment is probably about $900 a month, and then market rents, let's say it's about $1,400. So right there is a spread. So you got $4,800 that you're going to be making in cash flow, and then you have $5K down, so you have $5K down as well, and then on the back end you're only going to make about $5,000. You're going to make $5,000 on the back end. So if you look at that, you got 5 down, you'll make $5,000 on the back end, you make $4,800. So what is that? That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14.8. So that's about 14.8 that you made off this house with no equity in it. You can make $14,000 off a house that you can have for just 1 year when they refinance it, when they get their credit together, because that's one of the things you have to work on with them. You made $14,800 off this one house, and it has no equity in it. There's no equity. So that's the power behind subject to. So just make sure, like when you do these, make sure that you want to know, like what their payments is, what the interest rate is, how much they owe. You want to get like a form with them, which is authorization to release form, to give you information of where their loan stands. Do they have a fixed balloon? They have a fixed rate? You definitely want to know those things about their loan amount and what they owe. So, but in a nutshell, this is how you do it. You don't need a lot of equity to make money, to make spreads, because these individuals are going to give you $5K down for a down payment, and that's non-refundable. They don't get that $5,000 down, and they're going to be paying you $400 a month in cash flow without you being a landlord. You're not the landlord, because they have equitable interests into the property, because they're doing a rent to own. They're not just renting it, they're doing a rent to own. So kind of like a lease option. So that's what they're doing. So, and then as that time's going on, they're in there for a year, they're paying the principal down. So they're paying the principal down too on this property. And let's say if they can't get it done in a year, you turn around and you're like, okay, you maybe get another down payment from them and they got to go another year, or you can get someone else in there. So that's the powerful tool behind it, because even if these people don't perform, they gave you $5,000 already. They've been paying you monthly cash flow of $400. And if they don't perform, now you can get someone else in there, and then you can charge them $7K down or $5K down again, and then $400 payments again. So you repeat the cycle over and over again. That's the reason why when you talk to sellers and stuff and they ask, when are you going to pay this loan off? Tell them, it can be 2 to 3 years or 5 years, or it can be 10 to 15 years. It doesn't really matter. You're going to pay the loan off, but you don't want to promise them anything. You don't want to promise them nothing at all. You want to make sure that these individuals can perform, and if they can't perform, you have a backup to where you can get someone else in there. So I hope that this video helps, but this is the way that you can make money with no equity at all. So if you like these videos, comment below if there's any other videos you want me to talk about in real estate. I'll be more than happy to share some of my experience. And yeah, absolutely. So I hope this video helps, guys, and we'll definitely talk soon. Thanks.